Hello and welcome to the Wedding Dish Podcast. Grab your fork and knife and take a seat at our table as we dish on all things weddings. You'll hear stories and tips from real couples and wedding pros about love, life, and entrepreneurship. I'm your hostess with the mostest on the Wedding Dish Podcast, Sarah Alapin, and I am also the CEO of Photos from the Hardy and District Bliss. And today I have a very exciting guest who actually grew up like 15 minutes from where I grew up. We were just catching up on old times. I am dishing with a professional dancer and instructor of over 20 years, the human behind Your Night Choreo, Krista Ramirez. Thank you so much for joining me on the Wedding Dish.
Sarah, it's great to meet an old friend again. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here today.
So happy to have you. This is going to be such a fun episode.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Get out your dancing shoes, everybody.
Absolutely.
So, why should couples invest in dance lessons? I think that this is something that has become more popular, and I think it's something that people are realizing is really exciting and can set the tone of the evening. And I'm curious, like in your experience, why do you think couples should invest in wedding dance
So,
lessons?
so the one thing about wedding dance lessons is that it's not just for the night. You are investing in an experience with your partner. So you are taking time out of the wedding day, the wedding checklist process to learn something new together, to create this dance that is going to bond you and have these experiences that you're going to have the rest of your life. So it's not just about the wedding night. It's about the skills that you're going to have beyond. So investing in a first dance, learning that creates memories and it creates these skills that you'll have together forever.
Yeah, I think it kind of reminds me of like cooking classes. Like there are so many different experiences that are so worth it with your partner where you don't like you think you can do it, but it's not the same.
Right. And it's also one of those things too, dance lessons, it's something that you have to do and you have to practice it and learn it together. It's not just something to check off I have to order stationery. I have to do these things. So dance lessons is something that you guys can use as a date night, use as a moment to get out of your head in the wedding planning process, have fun together, and really do something that sets the tone, like you said, for the entire evening.
I love that. That sounds like so much fun. I feel like I need to make my husband sign up for dance lessons.
You know what? It's for the wedding dance and beyond. You always have to continue to date each other.
Yeah, I know. Now I'm thinking of all the other activities that I should also get my husband to do. Our calendar is packed.
You can always fit in a salsa class.
Oh my God, that would be so fun. He would hate it so much, and I would love it.
I'll tell you, so many couples, one of the partners gets dragged in, kind of kicking and screaming sometimes in the beginning. And by the end of the first lesson, they're directing everything. So it really, it's so funny to watch the dynamic that happens between couples because setting a really fun tone and setting a really relaxed environment, it really lets people get out of their, shake off their shells and get out of their own heads about stuff.
And actually, that's a great point because that's something that like everyone here that's listening can hear from you that you are setting like a very fun, relaxed tone in general. And I think like the idea of having an instructor that would be fun and like get you to loosen up and like get you to be comfortable right away and like make it just a fun experience. That there's so much value in that too.
Absolutely. And one thing that's really unique about our company is all the lessons are with both my husband and myself. So we are there together at every lesson, and it sets almost like a double date environment because it creates a really easy atmosphere versus having an instructor just there to tell you what to do. We're there laughing, we're there joking. We always say our dance studio is a safe space. We want couples to come in and treat every moment like a date night. We offer cocktails. We want you guys to come in and have fun with the whole process. And having two instructors there too, with both my husband and myself who have been through the wedding process, we understand what they're going through. We understand the stress. And our whole goal is to have people allowed this time to shake off the wedding planning stress and to really enjoy this moment together.
Oh, I love this so much. So, how many dance lessons do couples generally take? Like, how much time should they set aside? And of course, we should, in this question, maybe also talk about practicing, because you were mentioning we do need to practice. It is a skill, so you have to use
Absolutely.
it.
So, this is probably the question that we get asked the most. How many lessons do we need? Um, and it really depends on a few factors. One is, how long do you want your dance to be? Do you want to have something really simple that's, 90 seconds to 2 minutes where you're just learning a couple of moves? Or do you want to have a 3 or 4 song mashup where you're combining all different styles of dance? So, depending on how long the dance is, that's going to, kind of dictate how many lessons. Another factor that we incorporate is, how intricate do you want the choreography? Do you want to learn some really cool lifts? Do you want to learn how to salsa and then go into a hip hop dance and then go into a country two step? So when we're combining different genres, that's just going to take some time to learn. And then, like you said, Sarah, the third factor is practice and your ability to pick up the moves. So we work with couples who, some are really, really intent and focused and schedule time to practice on their own. And then we have couples who say, you know what, our lives are so busy. The only time we can actually do this is when we're with you in the room. So it really depends on how often couples are able to practice together. And sometimes we're the only time they get to do that. So we generally say, and I know that didn't answer the question entirely,
It
but
does. It does.
but there's a lot of factors
It
involved.
depends, but you're making the factors very clear.
Yes. So, we have had couples who have started with us a year before their wedding because they understood that it's going to take a lot of time to get the kind of dance that they want. And they wanted something that had some really incredible, intricate moves. And then we have couples who call us the week before their wedding and then say, oh my God, I didn't even think about this. I know we're going to be up there swaying awkwardly and we need some help. So general recommendation is, the sweet spot, I say about 3 to 4 months before your wedding is a good time to get started.
That makes sense. I think that also sounds pretty doable. If
Yeah.
you just want to come in and learn, like, let's say, how to do a standard quote unquote slow dance that looks really classic with maybe some twirls and dips, then that's going to probably take less time than something like a salsa dance, especially if one of the partners doesn't really know what salsa even looks like.
Correct. Yes. Yes. So we offered lots of different options and packages with our studio. So, we have what we call a spins and dips package. And that's exactly like what you described. It's learning a very loose structure, just having some go to moves that you have at your disposal so you don't feel like you're at a high school prom, kind of swaying awkwardly. Um, and then it goes up from there to, a fully choreographed single song and going into a mashup. So, we offer anything that anybody wants, but even having the most simple dance can really make you feel much more comfortable and prepared on the wedding day.
Yeah, and I think people really underestimate how difficult it is to execute a dip successfully.
You have no idea. We've had so many couples come to us and say, we watched on YouTube and we tried to do a dip in our living room and my partner dropped me into the coffee table.
I can see it.
So, we focus on safety when doing all of these things, but we really try to make sure that, we execute moves, and we even offer those kinds of like photo posing, because people, they take engagement shots or their wedding photos and they said, oh, the photographer wants me to lift my partner or dip my partner, and we have no idea how to do that. So that's something else that we offer to help couples feel more comfortable, both for before the wedding and on the wedding day.
That's such a great point because I tell my couples to kiss halfway down the aisle, to
Hmm.
stop halfway and kiss, or between halfway and two-thirds, because it's really hard to like track that on your wedding day when you've just gotten married. And those high achievers really struggle if they miss the mark. So, and I like to tell them, if you're comfortable, it looks great if you do a dip.
Right. And
Um,
the end of the aisle dip has been a huge trend for photography. So we've really tried, a lot of couples come to us specifically and say, how do I do that dip so it looks good in photos?
Yeah, because it doesn't, I mean, it isn't that it looks bad. It's just that it can look so good and it can just look like a dip.
Right on. Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you know how to just create those positions and do it in a way where it feels easy and comfortable, then you get these amazing photos.
Yeah. Oh, I love them so much. What are some of the ways that you've seen couples celebrate their blended cultures in their first dance?
I love this so much when couples come to us and they say that they want to, incorporate both of their families and both of their traditions and cultures into a first dance. Ceremonies, there's so many beautiful ways that people blend their cultures in a ceremony, but a first dance is such a cool way to do that, especially because every culture has its own version of dance and every culture has, a way to celebrate and to move. So we have done everything from one couple, we did a Hebrew first romantic song that went into a Bollywood dance.
Ooh.
Yeah. Which was a really incredible combination. We have had a couple who did Etta James at last, so they just wanted something very traditional. Then it went into Nirvana and then into a K-pop song. So so couples are really thinking outside of the box and you know being really their authentic selves and wanting to show who they are as a couple and as individuals and blending that together and learning to dance together and learning each other's types of dance is such a cool way to bond and to blend yourselves.
I think that is so fun. I love these ideas. I could absolutely see that. And you're speaking right to my heart. My first dance song was Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Harder to
Uh,
breathe.
uh,
Oh,
oh my God, why can I not think of the name? It was, wait, was it Hard to Breathe? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to think about this.
we have
It
done
went
that
right
song
out of
a
my
couple
brain.
times and it's such a great, it's actually a fantastic first dance song.
It worked great for us. I feel
Yeah.
like it might not be Hard to Breathe. It's like one that nobody knows. It's like a B-side one.
Uh-huh.
And I cannot think of the name. I wanna say it's like So Distracted or something, but that's not it.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, I'll think of it. I know I've said it on here before too. Hard to Concentrate.
Hard to concentrate. Yes, that's what it is. Yes, not hard to breathe. Sorry, hard to concentrate. It's such a good song. We actually
It
just
really
did a
is.
first dance to that in December.
I love that. It's such an underrated song, and it's just like for if you're not the kind of couple who like would go for, an At Last,
Mhm.
and that speaks to you, but it was a harder song to figure out how to dance to.
And one thing that's really interesting that a lot of couples don't always realize is they might love a song and they might have this, affinity towards it and really gravitate towards it, but sometimes moving to a certain song isn't the same as just listening to it. So that's always one thing that we keep in mind too. We always want to make sure that if a couple has a song that's important to them, absolutely to use it, but we want to make sure that they feel comfortable moving to it and dancing to it as well.
That's such a great point. That's such a great point. My mother-in-law requested for the son, the mother-son dance that it be a waltz. And my husband was like, I do not know how to waltz. I don't know why you would think that I know how to waltz. You raised me. You did not teach me this. And so we did the when the moon hits your eye like a big pizza.
That's Amore. I love that. Did he learn to waltz for the mother son dance?
He did not. It would have been great, but I think she was so surprised when the song came on, and it was so funny that they just had this like very fun short dance together. It's just super cute.
It's really interesting. Parents, like, we've worked with so many parent dances too, and parents oftentimes get an idea in their head when it comes to the dance that they've, and the children come to us and they're like, no, they have never mentioned this before in their lives, that, they want to do this song or this style of dance. Like, this has never happened in our household ever before. So it's always interesting navigating that too.
It's so funny, and I feel like it would have been fun to do a dance lesson with my dad. Actually, like that would have been really fun for me.
It's a really cool bonding experience for parents and child. Like, we had a couple, they got married in Ireland, which was incredible, and they did this really fun mashup dance. But then one of them came in with her dad, and they did Guns N' Roses' "Sweet Child of Mine," and
Oh my
he
gosh.
he brought in a Guns N' Roses and Axl Rose wig to put on for the dance. And it was such a fun lesson because they learned some moves and they had a great time. But then, they went, they had did the dance lesson, and then they went to lunch together. And she told us later that it was one of the best days that she had spent with her father in years. And they had conversations that they haven't, deep conversations they hadn't talked about in a really long time. So having that time with your family and that moment too is such a wonderful experience.
I love that so much. I feel like that would have been my experience with my dad too. That's so fun. Everything about that. Because it is, that's going to be something that at some point when that dad passes away,
Mhm.
that'll be a core memory. And you don't get a lot of core memories as an adult with your parents.
Very much so. So these are really special moments that you get to have.
That's so fun. What final tips do you have to help couples have the best dance lesson experience?
So one thing that I could
You're
give
like
tips for days.
you're like, "How long do we have?" I saw it hit your face.
Okay, so I'll give you a few of my top ones. Number one, I think the best tip that we can offer is remember at the end of the day that the not only, the first dance, that's our area of expertise, but the entire wedding at the end of the day is about the couple. Oftentimes couples get caught up on, what will my guests think? What do these people, I have to perform, I have to be perfect. And we always tell couples, especially for their first dance, number one, nobody knows these moves but them. So
Yeah.
if as long as they don't freak out in the middle of the dance, nobody will know if they messed up. And that moment is for them. That moment is for the couple. It's so cool to be able to blow your guests away. And it's so cool to have them surprised. But at the end of the day, this experience is about and for the couple. The other big,
Love that.
yes, the other really big tip I would say is give yourself time to learn and practice. Learning a dance and performing a dance, is like learning a new language. You have to have repetition. You have to take the time to invest in that moment. So we have couples who have come to us and sent us a video that they found on TikTok or on YouTube, and it's a professional dancers, and they say, we want to do this. And we said, we can do anything that you want, but it's just going to take, you have to invest the time to learn it because we can't do it for you. This is not flowers that are going to show up. This is not a photographer who you're trusting to take those photos for you. You have to perform the dance. So
Yeah.
take the time, trust your teacher, and really invest in that moment. And the third tip I would say is give yourself grace. You are learning a new experience together. And we know that it can feel overwhelming and a little bit daunting to think about dancing in front of your friends and family. But if you focus on each other, if you laugh when you step on each other's feet, if you really treat this moment like an experience and like you are dating your partner, you are going to go from having to check off, oh, we have to learn a dance, to I can't wait to do this dance.
Oh, I love that. That sounds like the best. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you, Krista. This has been so fun. I've enjoyed having this conversation with you so much on the wedding dish. Where can our couples find you online?
Well, thank you so much for having me, Sarah. It has been such a joy and a pleasure to be here today. And thank you for listening to all the dance things. Couples
I
can
love
find
it.
us couples can find us on our website, yournightchoreo.com. That's yournightchoreo.com. You can also check us out on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube if you search Your Night Choreo.
I love it. And of course, we will link to you in the show notes, which you all can find on the weddingdishpodcast.com. And we will tag you on our Instagram, which is the Wedding Dish Podcast. So you all will be able to easily connect with Krista there and, sign up for some dance lessons. It sounds like the best date night ever. I mean,
It really is.
we might have to come to LA for this.
Listen, we're here for it. Come on out. We do Zoom lessons too.
That would be fun, but I feel like the in-person would be a whole different level because
It
I
is.
feel like you guys bring it in the personality department.
It's true. And so if you and your husband ever make it out to LA, please come see us and then we can talk about all things growing up in Maryland too.
Yes, we absolutely can. Oh my gosh. Well, Krista, thank you so much for joining me on the Wedding Dish today. It has truly been such a pleasure. And everyone, don't forget to tune in next week. We have another amazing guest. And if you like the podcast, give us a follow, rate, and review on your preferred podcast app. And until we meet again, cheers, everybody.
Thank you so much. Bye.